Okay, hello everybody and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about Marvel's Phase 4. Oh my god, in its entirety, people. It's over now. Phase 4 is over. It's been over for a little bit. Wakanda was the last one. So I want to give like an overview about every movie and show in Phase 4. And I'm going to be ranking them. Absolutely, I'm going to be ranking them. Listen, I think I'm gonna leave a little timestamp in the edited video just before. I'm gonna do a little introduction, and then that'll be out of the way, and you guys can skip that if you want. Before I get like really into talking about the show. But here we are. Actually wanted to do a live stream. Just doing this. I thought that would just be funner, more fun than just making a regular extemporaneous video about it, but I have no choice since I'm working those days, unfortunately, Friday and Saturday, and I won't have the time, which is upsetting to me, but here I am. I'm usually like on call 24/7, so I had other plans to do things, but sometimes being on call like ruins my plans, but I'm adaptable. All right, I'll go with the flow. Here I am now. This is the time I have to do this. So I'm going to do this. So it's probably going to be a long video. I want to talk about each movie, all right, and show. There's a lot of content. So, all right, here we go. Let's just get started. Phase 4, Marvel's Phase 4. It is the biggest phase out of all of them, the largest phase. You know what? Actually, how many movies are there? I believe there's seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yes, exactly 7 movies. Phase 3 would have been the largest, clocking in around 10 movies, I think. Let me check here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. No, there's 11 movies and a few one shots, but we don't really count these one shots. In Phase 3. So Phase 3 would have been the largest, which made sense. But unfortunately for Phase 3, Phase 4 also has the unpleasantness of all the TV series. And there are like almost 10 TV series. It's ridiculous how many TV series there are. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we count what ifs? I don't know. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 different TV series in Phase 4. That's incredible. So Phase 4 just has the most content out of any phase. It is the largest. I suppose like you could have counted the Netflix shows back in the day when those were being made, like Defenders and Jessica Jones, but they're not. I don't think they're technically canon because they weren't part of the Disney threshold back on Netflix when they were being made. They might be now actually, given the fact that Matt Murdock Daredevil has been introduced into like the mainline MCU. I don't know. I get maybe I'm like straying from the point. Anyway, if I want to like break down all of Phase 4 as much as I can. Um, there are 3 main things I really want to talk about in Phase 4. There are 3 main points. The biggest points I see about like the purpose of Phase 4, and there are probably some others you can extrapolate on your own, but these are the 3 main points I believe that are just the most important. Number one, the switching from the old guard to the new guard. So we're getting rid of all the old and busted characters, bringing in the new counter characters to them. That is the purpose of Phase 4, and that is in its totality almost the purpose of every movie and show that has been going on, all except for maybe like WandaVision, because Wanda's like been there the entire time. Um, but actually think about that. Hold on, let me get the I'm gonna get like this picture I saw a while ago. Okay, so it took me a while. I found the picture sort of that I was looking for. Basically, in Phase 4, all of our old heroes have been phasing out gradually the entire time. So all the Avengers we once knew and loved, like Hawkeye, Steve, Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, Thor, they've all been changed. Look at this. This is your Marvel now. Whatever this is. All right. We got. Well, I don't really consider Carter like the new Steve. Falcon is in there technically as the new Captain America, so that's all right. But the same thing with like Mighty Thor, because technically Jane's dead. But now like Thor's non-daughter is gonna be the new Thor somehow in some shape or form. Like Thor's like a non-factor. But then we have Ironheart replacing Iron Man. We have She-Hulk replacing Hulk. Yolanda Black Widow replacing Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. Kate Bishop, Shuri as the new Black Panther, and this is Wanda, I believe. Weird Agatha Wanda, I believe so. Man, I could be wrong. Anyway, you can tell that, right? Phase 4 has been the restructuring of the MCU and just getting rid of our old characters. All their contracts are dead, or they probably would have gotten rid of them anyway. Honestly, with the way that Disney's handling their characters and their shows, they probably don't give a shit about Tony Stark, Iron Man, or Hawkeye, or Vision, or Thor. They don't really give a shit, especially the way they portray him in the movies and shows nowadays. Um, it's really a shame. So that's one of the main purposes of Phase 4. It is just the complete restruction and destruction of the old MCU. We're getting into we're changing the formulas. We're changing everything up. Um, Good or bad. So far it's been bad. It could be good. So far it's been bad. Listen, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I don't think there's no I hate Phase 4. All right, I vehemently disagree with all the changes and choices all these shows and movies have been doing in this phase. They're horrible. I hate them all. So you would know that, but just I'll make it absolutely clear. Phase 4 is terrible, and I don't like it. Now that's unfortunate. There could have been good things in the phase. There are actually some good things. I'll talk about them when it comes up in the rankings. But yeah, I'm just not impressed with Phase 4. It needs to be criticized heavily for everything that it's done, unfortunately. But all right, that's the main point. The next point is the introduction to our new main villain, overall main villain, which is probably going to take till Phase 6 to defeat, is Kang. Kang, introduced in Loki, is going to be the main Avenger villain somehow, shape, or form. Whatever, he's going to have some sort of weird technology or something that's going to be able to beat all our other characters, all the Wakandans, all the Iron Mans in the world, all the Hulks, whatever. Um, yes, Kang is for sure the setup to our he's our new Thanos basically. He does not have a good start. We'll get to talking about Kang later. I've already talked about Kang actually. Did I? No, I didn't. I didn't do a Loki review. So we're gonna rank Loki. Oh my god! Why don't we just rank Loki right now? You guys want to see my tier list? Oh, I should explain my tier list. Maybe don't take it too seriously. Just kidding. Here we go. At the top we have holy shit. Holy shit, it's a Christmas miracle, guys. Wow. I wonder what that could mean. Right below that, we have it's just a little bit spicy. All right, this movie is slightly spicy. Just a little spicy, guys. We have it's so boring. I don't even really need to talk about it because it's so evident to everybody. We have dog shit right below it, dog shit. Then we have nuclear level dog shit. That's a dog shit above dog shits. And then we have complete and utter brain rot. All right, this is my tier list. We don't have a lot of things to tier actually, but that's okay. Why don't we get started? Should we start with Loki? Because into my second point. All these points are intrinsically connected. So let me actually talk about the third point. Third point is the expansion of the multiverse, and the expansion of the multiverse has been peripheralating since technically Phase 3 towards the end of it, but it's really been gaining traction in Phase 4. So many shows and movies in Phase 4 have the multiverse interconnected into their plots. They're being specifically talked about, and it's going to be a huge big thing later on. Specific Loki, Doctor Strange, Wanda's show, the Spider-Man movie, and sort of Thor too, and Shang-Chi as well. They have different dimensions and stuff. Oh my god! Even the She-Hulk, but She-Hulk, it doesn't take itself seriously, but at the same time it is. Even it has the fourth wall breaking. You can consider multi-dimensional, maybe not travel, but how would you say it? Multi-dimensional they're like moving from different dimension to different dimension, breaking that wall. So even though it's like still in the meta, and it's ridiculous. But that's another like thing that the movies and shows have been like really trying to like um, create a structure around. They do it horribly though, because this is the main problem with Phase Four. Another, none of these people, the people writing and directing Phase Four now, we can see all the directors. Ryan Coogler is probably the worst, honestly. He directed. Was he wrote Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, I believe. I believe he did. Oh no, wait, no. Which one did he direct? I don't remember. I can just click his name here and find out. Wakanda Forever. That's right. Never mind. Uh, uh, who was the one who did? Well, he's bad as well. Someone TV directors. No. I'm looking for the director that did. That the person that wrote Multiverse of Madness, because he's fucking nuts. Sam Raimi technically directed Multiverse of Madness, but like he didn't write it, so there's no flares of Sam Raimi in that movie. Whatever. If you get my point, that Phase Four has just been floundering. These directors and writers have not been talking to each other. There is no plan. The plan is just to like get these shows and movies out, and make as much money as possible. They're that's why like we liked the MCU in the first place, right? We could see these characters and we could see the world building interconnecting upon each other, and we could see like there was a plot, there was a linear plot somehow happening. Phase Four is not linear at all in its plot. Everything's cascading in this phase. Timelines are all jumbled and confused. I don't know where anyone is at any time. There's no, even in She-Hulk is how many years after the blip? Black Widow itself is before it's after Civil War, but it's before the blip. Falcon Winter Soldier, Thor, we have no idea when in the timeline that is. Moon Knight, we have no idea. Spider-Man, we get a little sense that we know a little bit about. It's literally right after Homecoming. No, not Homecoming. No Way From Home. No, not No Way From Home. I always forget like the second Spider-Man movie. uh, Spider-Man. What is it? I gotta get the. I always forget it. I know it was like the last one there. Far From Home. There we go. The one with Mysterio. Um, that one is technically it's the most we've gotten out of like the blip in the timeline. It's 6 months after the blip, and then the movie starts. And then No Way Home is literally like a week after Spider-Man 2, technically, Far From Home. We have that timeline. Everything else, we just don't know. Everything's so confusing. And the world building has just been atomized, into a million. I've talked about this before in my reviews. There is no world building anymore. These characters, they don't intermingle between each other anymore like they should. Nothing matters. It's crazy. We get new characters that should have been in here all along that just pop up out of nowhere. What have they been doing since the blip? What have they been doing before the blip? It's not explained properly in any way, meaningful way. It's actually it's so horrible, and it's really the main reason people like the MCU. We could like see all these characters interact with each other, and the world building was maybe not masterful, but it was entertaining enough that you could see where it was going and you have fun with the new things they would introduce into the mythos of the MCU and the Marvel universe. Now it's just cascading all over the place. I have no idea. There are no stakes. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. All right. Anyway, let's start. Should we start with Black Widow? I think we might. It is the beginning of the phase. Let's start with Black Widow. Where would I post Black Widow? Let's see here. We could talk about Black Widow in the movie. Alright, so Black Widow, it is after Civil War. Literally directly after. There's a lot of stupid shit in Black Widow. I'm not impressed with Black Widow. It's basically just the introduction to Yolanda and her replacing our Scarlett Johansson. It's really the main purpose of this movie. Not even like a real homage to Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. If they wanted to do that, they could have done the Budapest mission or the Budapest, whatever. But they decided to make this weird hodgepodge of like characters come up out of nowhere right after Civil War that have been around the entire time. The Red Room, and the Red Room's, and then they added Taskmaster. They changed his character completely from the comics and his origins. I guess that's okay. I'm okay with like changing some characters around. Um, the motivations of our villain, just, he's a super incel. He doesn't like girls, so he takes over the minds of other girls and turns them into widows to kill people for his organization. But he's been there the entire time. Uh, you know, no effect on the plot whatsoever. To before this movie or after. So he's really an afterthought villain that doesn't make any sense. Tons of bad. Remember, like Black Widow would take like massive amounts of damage in that movie. Remember, she fell from like a building and started like rebounding off of like uh rebounding rebounding off of like things outside of the building, like heaters or air conditioners, and fucking falling on the ground, just like no damage at all. She's our most durable in this movie. Anyway, the plot is horrible, confusing. All these the new characters they introduced, the Red Guardian, their family, so to say. The familiarness of her with these characters, even though they haven't supposed to seen each other in like decades, literally. It's so annoying. Not the best outing. People don't even really care about this movie, Black Widow, because this movie should have came out a long time ago if they were gonna do it right. Like, this is her first movie technically, but now her character's dead, literally, and they can't bring her back unless they go to the multiverse thing and drag a different version of her out of nowhere. But then everything about her is the same technically. They could just literally do that if they wanted to. They've been like hinting at like doing shit like that in the Doctor Strange movie. I'm not impressed with the Black Panther movie. It has a lot of bad shit. I'm gonna leave it in dog shit. All of these are, I could change them. Some of them are like the same too. Like Black Widow's old dog shit as well as being boring. Same thing with like She-Hulk. Should I even talk about She-Hulk? If you've seen my reviews on She-Hulk, I think you're like, uh, I don't want to say just go watch that. I'll talk about She-Hulk a little bit now. She-Hulk is nuclear levels of dog shit. All right, it's like the most boring of the shows as well. Oh my god, wait. It might be complete and utter brain rot. If I'm grading complete and utter brain rot. Maybe I should do Loki then first. Loki is complete and utter brain rot. It is the first show in the Marvel series and part of the canon to just absolutely decimate the world building of the MCU. You know, the first episode. Think about this. You guys really, I've talked about this before. Please think about this. In the first episode, we find out that the TVA have been controlling everyone and everything on the central timeline. Therefore, any decision that any character makes that's not in the rules within the central timeline, they get melted and deleted. Essentially destroying free will throughout the entire Marvel Universe. How could they do that? No decision any character made before this point and after this show, even we don't even know what timeline this show's in because it's all over the place. It's in its own dimension. That just doesn't make sense. No character makes any free will choice up to this point, alright? Nothing Iron Man did, nothing Steven did, nothing Loki did, nothing Hulk did, nothing Banner did, nothing Thor did. Everything, because the TVA have the power to literally melt you if you don't follow the timeline. So if you just make even one little mistake, apparently, if you eat a bagel in the morning instead of cereal, the TVA will come and kill you and melt you, send you to the fucking dog dimension. What were all your other different personality, multiple personality versions of yourselves? Or just get fucking existence ended. Fuck! Oh my god, this is such a horrible decision to make. How could they do that? Right off the bat, in the first episode. what a what a ridiculous premise to set for the rest of like your phase. Nothing matters. It's and the TVA are still around. They're not gone. So they're still the ones making the decisions. Not oh my god, and the Kang. All of it is a lie. We find out at the end of the show that Kang is the one controlling everything. Kang is the one because he needs to stop his different versions of himself from taking over every universe ever for whatever reason. Because Kang is the ultimate bad guy. Loki is the absolute like setup to all the like the horrible things that just really happen. All the world building breaking in the MCU. It's been completely destroyed and atomized. No decisions matter to anyone at all. Stakes have been completely ruined. Power levels ruined. Remember in like the scenes where they were using the stones as paperweights? This is right after Endgame. The stones were like so important to like the universe in every universe, but in like the TVA dimension, they have no power there for some reason. They're just paperweights, literally. They have thousands of multiples of the stones. Something that would like it would take characters like an entire phase to even get one of them. A movie, right? Ridiculous. Why would they do that? Ridiculous. They completely change Loki's character too. Remember Loki? So they take the Loki from 2012. Should I have to explain the retardation of the time travel too from Endgame? Endgame has its own problems with time travel, but in this show they confuse 2012 Loki with like 2020 Loki that died from Thanos in the ship with Thor. They take literally like a 20-minute scene where art with the 2012 Loki is just shown like images from his future, and he believes it all, and then he's just on board with the TVA. Well, our 2012, this 2012 Loki would not believe anything any of these people are saying to them. He's been captured by these people. Why would he believe anything they tell him? This is the evil Loki we're dealing with. He's not. This is literally evil Loki. He's at his most evil in this he should be at anyway in this timeline, but they had to do 20 minutes to like catch him up to like a less evil, more understanding Loki that we know, that we've come to know after watching all the movies and phases. It's retarded. They can't do that. That's like it takes like 3 seasons in order for a character to change like that, not like one scene. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. Sif. Sif. I guess Sif is another. We're phasing out Loki too with female Loki, right? Every new character that they've been phasing out as a female of the person of the same version. Ironheart, Mighty Thor, Hot Girl, female Black Panther. Oh my god, it's just so funny to see it. It's just so funny, honestly. Um, so yeah, we're putting Loki in here. There's other problems too. This is like also another start where like there's a fight scene, at least 2 fight scenes every episode, and then you get like boring dialogue between each character and dialogue that destroys the mythos of the MCU. Uh, how it's brain rot. This is the start of the brain rot. It is. It truly is the start of the brain rot. I think I'm done ranting about Loki. Listen, I hate Loki so much. There's terrible CGI, bad plot, um, bad characters. They destroy the mythos. They break space and time in multiple instances. It has to be in complete and utter brain rot. If the show breaks space and time, it has to be in utter brain rot. All right, so that brings me to like She-Hulk, and I'm confused on She-Hulk, right? So I've talked about She-Hulk extensively. I've reviewed every episode on my channel. If you want to go see that, go find that. There's a playlist for that. Um, it, I'm debating if it should be in complete and utter brain rot, only because of the last episode when She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall, breaks into Marvel Studios, talks to Kevin, the robot, literally Karen's her way to God and changes her entire show at the end. Um, is that she's technically breaking space and time by breaking into, the meta. Breaking the fourth wall, going into the meta, even though it's not funny at all. And just being allowed to like change her own story by herself. Uh, However, that's only the last episode. Very seldomly does she ever break the fourth wall in her own show. It's very minor. She'll just do a little head turn and talk to the audience for one sentence, and she does that. She does that maybe 3 times throughout the entire show, maybe four. I don't exactly remember. Anyway, it's not important. So I'm really debating whether to put her in there. I really want to put her in nuclear level dog shit. If you've seen She-Hulk, you know it's objectively horrible. It's not funny, and that's the purpose of the show. It's a comedy. She-Hulk does the most comedy out of any of these shows. It has no plot. I'll be very clear. She-Hulk has no plot, has no real villains, has really no connection to the main MCU multiverse stuff that they're building throughout this phase. It's the most bare bones like boring show they have. That is completely unfunny. And they just sideline Hulk throughout most of the episodes. He comes back with a son in the last episode. Fucking ugh. They don't explain it. Why would they explain it? We don't know what happened during the blip with all of her family. We don't know where she was during the blip or before. She comes out of nowhere. She get it. I'm gonna leave it in nuclear level dog shit. I believe. I don't think it actually deserves complete and utter brain rot. Just the last episode is really just an affront to humanity as a whole. We're gonna leave you here, She-Hulk. This is where you belong. You belong in dog shit. You're a horrible show. Actually, She-Hulk has the worst CGI among all the Marvel shows. It has a huge budget too. I don't know how that happened. Not as big as WandaVision, but is that WandaVision? That's Hawkeye. Where's WandaVision? Where are you, girl? There you are. This is WandaVision. No, that's Doctor Strange. Where's the WandaVision? There you are. I found you. Wanda. Alright, so She-Hulk, we're putting you nuclear level dog shit. Alright? That's where you're staying. You don't deserve brain rot, but you could probably be there. If we really wanted to finagle the line of how bad like the fourth wall breaking is, considering like breaking time and space and everything. But no, everything just about you is bad. Every dialogue option between characters, um, you yourself, I don't understand your motivations at all. You're bad as a lawyer. Oh my god, too funny, man. All right, we'll talk about WandaVision. WandaVision is the most expensive show here. I think it was 250 million for the show. That's insane, right? 200, somewhere between 200 and 300 million. That's Black Panther. Where's Black Panther? This is Black Panther, right? No, that's the Eternals. Black Panther itself was $250 million, and this is a 2-hour movie, 2.5-hour movie. But that's a movie, right? This is a show, 6-episode show, worth almost $300 million. It's insane. I guess it earns it. Its CGI is fucking ridiculous in this show. But let's see. I don't like WandaVision either, guys. WandaVision has the weirdest character change for Wanda. For no reason, she just decide people think that this is justified because she's sad that Vision died. That Wanda's allowed to enslave an entire town and block it off from all of humanity. And now she owns the town as sole dictator. And people think that her being sad about Vision is justified to do this. It's insane why people think that. I don't understand. She has the worst character change. This is her introduction to Wanda, Scarlet Witch being evil, and it's ridiculous. just because she lost her dildo. No, there are no repercussions after the show for what she did to these people. There's scenes of these people begging her to please stop this because they were in pain from being mind controlled to her. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious. Oh my god. People love Wanda. I like Wanda too. Wanda was a good character back in Age of Ultron up until Endgame. Wanda was fine. We like Wanda. She had character then. She grew as a person on the team during the Avengers. She was sad about what she did in not Wakanda, but what she did to Steve's the Crusher, Bone Crusher. How she killed him and her innocence. And but the courts basically started because of her and the damage she did. But now she just doesn't care about it anymore. She was blipped for 5 years. She wasn't even around during the 5 year break where all our main Avengers were part of. But this is the next time we see her, literally after Endgame, after she fights Thanos a little bit. She didn't like beat Thanos, but she does some damage to him. And then now all of a sudden she's just taking over towns with her powers. It's a drastic character change. Why would they do that? Now this show doesn't break like time and space. Um, it doesn't do that. It's really just more of a character study about like Wanda's mind and what she's doing. Um, but there are no repercussions to her actions in this show specifically, even after in the Doctor Strange movie. We might as well talk about that too with her. It's even more drastic because apparently after this show, she just goes full blown evil and starts fucking killing people. She finds out about the book. She finds out about her kids that aren't her kids. People think she's justified for doing this too. She literally breaking into other dimensions to find kids that aren't hers, killing loads of heroes in their own worlds just to find these kids and kill herself, implant her mind into herself, and so she can take care of these kids that aren't hers. Um, Ridiculous. There are other problems with this movie too. Tons of problems. Where should I place this, guys? I don't. I want to put it in nuclear level dog shit. I really do. I don't think it deserves that though, because I will be putting Doctor Strange in complete and utter brain rot. But her, should we just put it in dog shit? Ah man, I don't know. I don't know. If we think about like the lead up to it, if I just think about the show to itself without knowing the implications of her character in this film and what it means, like what happened here, like Agatha and her whole deal and how she got introduced here, in which she's basically the new good Wanda, Scarlet Witch, because Scarlet Witch is just evil now. But Agatha, we thought she was evil, but she's not technically. It's strange. If I just it has a lot of bad thing. Most of it's boring. Like the first two episodes were just like getting introduced to her world. We start in the 50s, then we go to the 60s, and we go to the 70s, and then we really get like getting into like what's happening inside her mind. Even though I'm gonna leave it in dog shit with Black Widow, it has a lot of problems. Same problems I think with Black Widow. Bad character development, bad character dialogue. Her Wanda's motivations are unclear about really what she wants to do, what's even happening. Her I want to put it there. I want to put it here because she just like took over an entire town and no one seems to give a shit. People seem to think it's justified. I'm oh my god, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to put it in nuclear level dog shit, I think. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to leave it here. I think it could go either way. I'm not oh my gosh, should I make a new category? Like the in between? Mm. I don't think I really need to. I'm gonna be comfortable placing it in here. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Uh, this is me being as harsh as possible for this show. If I was being generous, I'm gonna put it in dog shit. I don't want to be generous though. The implications of that I do know now of Wanda being evil are horrible, and we're gonna talk about Multiverse of Madness now. We think about it. Doctor Strange isn't even like the main focus of his own movie. It's really the introduction to American Chavez and Wanda being evil. What? Multiverse of Madness is the plot point actually too of the number 2 point I talked about earlier of the introduction to the multiverse. But Doctor Strange 2 doesn't even take it very far. All the multiverses we even see in the movie are like super bare bones and boring. Like we see the universe that's green means stop and red means go. That universe, we see the universe without capitalism and everything's great. Fuck, like most of these shows and movies here have been ham-fisting horrible messages throughout the entire run. Literally, I'm gonna eat this pistachio. Forgive me, people. I love pistachio. I have snacks here with me and water because this is gonna be a long video, just slight ranting before I delve even deeper into Multiverse of Madness. Now, I did make a video on Multiverse of Madness. I didn't rewatch it, so I don't remember exactly what I said. I think it's gonna. I still remember it very clearly, so I'm gonna try and remember most of it. If we think about it again, Doctor Strange is like being stringed along throughout this entire movie, really just trying to like figure out how to stop Wanda, because for some reason Wanda's like so much more powerful in this movie than she's ever been. And they also changed her power system in this movie. I talked about it in my review too. Her movie is no longer cosmic based by the stones. It's magic based, which is ridiculous. Why would they change that though? Just keep it. You were gonna do that anyway. Like the stones are the power of cosmic. I don't know. We haven't really talked about the power of cosmic in the MCU yet, but that's what the stones are based off of. So they're cosmic by the universe. I guess it depends how they define magic, right? Magic is like literally what Doctor Strange does. Literally like using spells. Magic implies spells. Now she does. She's just like inherently using spells now for no reason. It just doesn't make sense. So they changed the power system with Wanda. She's like massively more powerful in this movie. The things she can do are ridiculous. The way she can just like kill really powerful heroes. She battled Xavier in his mind and beat him easily, no trouble at all. The greatest psychic in the universe or whatever. So like the upscaling power for Wanda was a frustration to me. I hope to a lot of other people. Doctor Strange is again being like stringed along through his entire movie. There's lots of like even in his own movie, like Doctor Strange's like character has been like I really liked him in Infinity War and in his first movie. But since after that, he's been so incompetent and like weird. He's making weird character decisions constantly. He makes weird character decisions in Spider-Man as well. And it's just like what is your character now? Doctor Strange, Strange. Like what do you do? You're not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore. Um, you're not as power. You don't. And even in this movie, he's using like tons of different spells that he's never used before, and they just only uses them once, even though they seem like they'd be like super powerful and useful in any given situation, but doesn't use them. They so the writing is horrible, like between like our characters and like what they can do and what they can't do. So the power scaling has just gone off the fucking rails. Um, in terms of the plot, it's solely focused on like trying to stop Wanda, and Wanda needs American Chavez's powers in order to like traverse the universe with the book. I forget the book's name, but as far as like how that goes, and it really is just like the America Chavez movie. It's her introduction to the MCU and what she's going to be about. She's probably going to get her own show and own movie at some point. I wouldn't be surprised. So it has to be in complete and utter brain rot. All right, so I'm gonna explain like the insanity of how these characters are now just able to use this book to place their minds inside like different versions of themselves in like space and time with really no repercussions. So it's just the continuation of breaking like different dimensions and universes. In these shows and movies, by the way, they interchange these words all the time and they all mean the same thing. So a dimension can mean a universe. Um, at the same time, even though they're like completely different. So like a dimension would be like, say, the quantum realm, or realms is another thing. Like, they don't. They need to pick one thing and stick with it. It was explained better in in Endgame when the previous Sorcerer Supreme was talking about removing the stone creates an alternate timeline. Apparently they're wrong because they didn't know about the TVA, right? Creating when everybody, you don't need to take out the stone to create an alternate timeline, and it'll like break that universe. You can just eat a bagel in the morning instead of drinking coffee, and then bam, new timeline, and then bam, the TVA come melt you. So all these character decisions are it's so confusing. Everything, Jesus, just more destruction of the MCU and their mythos. It's really aggravating, really annoying. All right, let's move on. The what if. You know what? I'll be honest with what if. I'm surprised this is even really here. I'm not even sure if what if is actually canon. I guess suppose it is, but what am I supposed to think of the what ifs? How do the what ifs even exist when the TVA exists, right? The TVA is supposed to stop the what ifs from happening on the central timeline. So this show doesn't even make sense in lore if it is canon. None of these writers talk to each other, so the writers doing what if probably never even heard of Loki, all right? when they were writing the show. So, if anything, the what ifs are aggravating the fact that like they're boring, uninteresting, and I'm just gonna say they're boring. I didn't actually watch all of them, so that's that. I don't think they're important in any way, shape, or form. So if you do, that's fine. Maybe some of them were interesting. Like maybe the zombie one was sort of interesting. I remember that one, and maybe the Ultron one was, but at that point, when Vision became like Ultron and killed Thanos, couldn't he have done that anyway in the main timeline? A lot of problems with the what ifs. I'm not too happy about, but I didn't I don't consider it canon, even though it is, I think. But I'm just gonna leave it here and too boring. Very very boring to watch. I was not very impressed. I think some of them had some of the shorts. They had like good animation, which was good, but I'm not impressed with any of it. All right, Hawkeye. Hawkeye, huh? Ooh, Hawkeye. So this is the introduction to Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop. As far as this, it's also the introduction. Let me get my note. Kate's introduction. Her character is okay. It's explained that she saw Hawkeye save her during the 2012 first Avengers Assemble part where Loki attacked, and then she's been doing archery ever since. I don't remember exactly what happened during the blip with her. We can assume she got blipped. That's probably right. Um, as far as this show goes, there's nothing like too spectacular in it at all. It's probably actually the most bare bone. I'm not even sure it's boring, but it's not good either. Like I don't like it. I like Kate Bishop sort of as a replacement to Hawkeye, I guess. That's basically what the show is. Again, most of these shows again are the replacements for old characters. Hawkeye's old, disheveled. He's lost his hearing. His bones are tired. He can't do all the stuff he used to do. But another important character that was introduced here was Echo, the villain of the show, along with Fisk. She's not the real villain. But she's gonna get her own show for some reason, and they did that, but even before like this came out, which is incredible. Which just doesn't really make any sense at all. I'm not sure why the Marvel is trying to push Echo in her own show. Is she going to be a villain? Is she going to be an anti-hero? I'm not sure. Um, it's gonna be funny to watch though when it does come out. Okay, I'll stop. Like, it's as far as this show goes, it's not horrible in any way objectively. It is bad, kind of still. It has bad dialogue, and I'm not impressed by any of the real scenes. Kate Bishop as a replacement to Hawkeye could work. I'm surprised they didn't. I guess they couldn't use his daughter because she got blipped. But I assume later in the future, if Kate Bishop gets like a sidekick, it'll be Clint's daughter. Um, I guess maybe that'll be interesting to watch. Maybe have it all in the family, right? So I'm gonna. Mm, it's not very spicy. Can I even call it spicy? It's basically boring. It is boring. Most of these shows might be just like boring. I'm comfortable with it being boring. It's not. I don't think it's good enough to be spicy. It's just a little spicy. No, it's boring. Definitely boring. All right. We're gonna move on to the Eternals here, boys. The Eternals. Ooh, where do I put the Eternals? It might be in dog shit. All right, we're gonna talk about the Eternals. So I haven't talked about the Eternals on my channel at all. Um, as far as I remember about the Eternals, I did rewatch it recently. All these characters are boring. There are six main characters or seven. We have Athena, Icarus, something, the girl, the big Chungus guy, Indian man, little girl, and I only remember Icarus's name because he's the guy from Game of Thrones. He's the only like really interesting one. Ajax, um, or Ajax, whatever. There are like seven characters, seven new characters, all introduced in this movie. And the Eternals, if you don't know about them, they are literally eternal. They live forever, created by the Celestials. Now, this is important. So, I should talk about their characters anyway. Uh, as far as like the Eternals and the way they interact, I didn't really feel that they were a family that the movie was trying to like presuppose upon us. It didn't feel like these characters had a lot of chemistry together or a lot of history together, even though they've been together for literally centuries, eons, even, if we think about it, millions of years. Um, though the characters change over the time because they lose their memories. But as far as like on being on Earth, I don't feel like they're an actual family. It does seem like maybe some connection between some characters, but as far as the acting goes for some of them, I guess the best one would be um, Icarus and his character and what he does. But okay, so in this movie, all right, we know they don't age. We find out that this is our introduction to the Celestials now for the Marvel Universe. That's a big thing. The Celestials are, if you don't know, I'm not even sure. I know because in the not in the comics, the Celestials are different. The Celestials here, they create they create suns and black holes. They have immense amounts of power, and they use their power to create life, basically. And in that life, their real goal is to create other Celestials. There are like tons of questions and implications about like the Celestials and what they do for the universe. Technically, um, they're that means technically the Celestials are responsible for everything. But where did they go? Did they go during the blip? It's not explained. Are there like laws of physics binded by the stones? I would assume they are. It's just not explained. That's a question I would have. You're gonna find out from me talking here. I have a lot of questions. None of them are answered. Lots of no. It's bad when your series and movies are bringing up more questions and answers and not finding them in a meaningful way possible. Anyway, this brings to the question. Remember Ego from the Guardians? He referred to himself as a celestial. He referred to himself as a god. Is Ego a celestial anymore? Because he looks completely different from all the other ones. He also doesn't even know his own origins. So what does that mean? Is he still a celestial? Did they change that? What are the implications of that? We don't know. So the Celestials create planets with life in order to create more Celestials. Um, Now this is the retarded part in the Celestials. They create the Eternals. The Eternals' purpose is literally to make sure that intelligent life stays on the planet for enough time and enough people to create the Celestial. So why does the Celestial? Essentially, he creates them. They're supposed to be robots. The Eternals are supposed to be essentially robots. It's what they find out they are. They are like they're supposed to be unthinking robots, but they're not. The Eternals have their own feelings, and they get attached. They get attached to Earth, which is why they stop this plan. But why would the Celestials create a being that they need to be unthinking and like completely loyal to them? Why would they give them emotions? What are you doing? What seems like a giant oversight for a being of your cosmic level of power and intelligence. You know, it just doesn't make sense. The Eternals should be literally like Terminator robots that obey your every whim, and they're completely uncorruptible. But they're not. Super retarded actually. I actually hate that. Not that that matters anyway. Like, oh my God, are the Celestials? Are they like comprised of like? Does the TVA control them too? We don't know. Another thing, more questions, right? What are the implications of these Celestials anyway, too? Because at the end of the movie, the Eternals they stop the resurrection of the new Celestial from Earth, so they stop it from being destroyed. So what are the implications of that? Of like literally stopping a Celestial from being born? Because apparently in the movie, the Celestials are responsible for creating all of life. So if you stop one from being born, do you end up stopping like life itself some far billions of years in the future? How does that work? How does that work, right? Oh my God. So many too many questions, man. Too many questions. Um, that's really the main plot of the movie because the deviants, which we see a lot from like the trailers when that movie came out, they're really just a distraction. They're not important at all. Apparently, the Celestials created them too, but the Celestials couldn't control them for some reason, even though you have nigh on infinite power. You have the ability to create black holes and the sun and literally to create beings. You couldn't just snap them out of existence maybe with your celestial powers? I guess not. For some reason. It's just stupid things that don't make sense. The CGI was bad in this film, very bad, in fact. Lots of like weird composite shots of our characters and flying scenes. It didn't look good. There was one good scene when like you could see the Celestials' fingertips coming out of the planet, and it's literally like it's like a monolith mountain megalith thing just obscuring in the whole. I think it was like in the volcanoes of Hawaii or something. It's like fucking looking crazy. Bad CGI, bad sights, bad fights, lots of spectacle, no real substance. Um, Also, what are the stakes? Again, like what are the repercussions of a celestial like coming out of the earth? Because it sort of like came like a third of the way out. You can like see its head and its hand, and it's just out of the earth now. Who are the people that are like monitoring that situation on the planet? Where are they? Like, are we gonna see them? What are the repercussions of your actions, Eternals movie? Like, what do you do? Oh my God. I'm gonna give them dog shit. As far as like the movie is like really long, it is boring. I don't like any of the characters. They're not real. They're not convincing. The implications of the Celestials now in the MCU and what they do. How are they affected by the TVA? What's the cause? How powerful are they in actuality? It doesn't seem like they're actually that powerful, you know. So I'm gonna put you in firmly in dog shit. You firmly get dog shit. All right. Okay. Wakanda Forever's next, boys. Um, Actually, Eternals might be worse than Black. I'm not gonna put them in any specific order. Actually, they're just in this category. All right. So Wakanda Forever. If you've seen my video, I already talked about Wakanda Forever. I didn't go like super extensive in that video about like some things. So like the Shuri becoming Black Panther and how that's like very ham-fisted. I didn't really like that change. Lots of other stuff. Namor, our villain. Um, how Atlantis just comes out of nowhere. Where was it during the blip? We don't know. Lots of stupid fights, lots of bad character dialogue. Our introduction to Ironheart actually comes in this movie. It's weird. You'd think like Ironheart would get her own movie, like for Iron Man, but apparently not. She doesn't even get to keep like that with the weird Gundam Power Ranger suit in that movie. Wakanda takes it back. The fucking Wakandans are assholes, of course. Still, they don't help people, even though they feel so superior to everyone. Um, I don't want to put it in nuclear level dog shit. I don't. I hate. Actually, I really do hate this movie. I hate it. It's the end of the Phase 4, and it's just a reminder of like the what's the point of this entire phase? It's been shit the entire time. Nothing about It's a reminder that nothing about this phase is good. I'm gonna put it in dog shit. I think it's dog shit. Nuclear. It's not like sort of like it's like in the realms of like being boring and having bad characters, not in the realms of like being horribly unfunny and completely changing around character decisions that make no sense. Some things make sense. Some you could there are some nice scenes. Uh, Remembering of Chadwick Boseman. So I think in the movie by itself, it's bad. It's a bad movie. It's not good. I don't like the movie. All right, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. I'm going to put him in too boring. This is probably the most boring film of any of the shows. And not even the movies, too, actually. Um, as far as like the plot goes, it's really super straightforward. We just have to find we. Oh my god, how do I even explain this for Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi is so weird. Let me look at my notes for a second, guys. Okay, so Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. It's just a boring movie. I don't know what else to say about it. Can I? I don't want to go over the entire plot of this movie. Shang-Chi, he grows up with his father, owner of the Ten Rings. The Ten Rings basically make him immortal. Um, his wife dies, and then Shang-Chi gets brought up in their organization to fight things, and they Shang-Chi's father wants to find his mom because he thinks she's alive, and they go to the different dimension woods of China, and they fight the evil monster there, and he beats them. His sister, for some reason, is better at fighting than he is, even though he's classically trained. His sister's not. His sister owns like a fighting ring. This is where we see actually another cameo of Wong and Abomination in them fighting, and they're friends for some reason, just because Abomination's not evil. Incredibly weird. Incredibly weird. It's very boring. Very boring film. I don't like his girlfriend. She's annoying. She doesn't really do anything. She's the driver of the film. Oh my god, wait. Ben Kingsley comes back as the fake Mandarin. I don't know why they made that decision. Because we all know how we hate Iron Man 3. And the Mandarin is very annoying. Not good at all. I don't have much to say about this movie at all. Surprisingly, I'm gonna firmly keep it in too boring. There's not much going on. It's just the introduction to Shane. It's very bare bones like superhero movie. Um, it's got some cool action. It's got some cool scenes. As far as the fight scenes go, most of them are like without like the superpowers are very telegraphed fighting scenes that don't look good, but everything is just boring to watch in this movie. I'm not impressed with the characters. I don't really care about Shang-Chi. How does Shang-Chi gonna fight Kang, right? How is he gonna fight, cosmic level threats? I don't know. Is he affected by the TVA? Like not like it seems no one is except for Loki. Only Loki got like the short end of the stick for that. Unfortunately for him. All right, I got more notes here. We're sticking in with too boring. All right, Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh my God. Woo. Wow. All right. This show. People are gonna hate me. I hate this show. It's going to nuclear level dog shit, guys. I have extensive notes on this. Let's go over some of them. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I might have to. So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Hey, remember the beginning when Sam can't buy a boat. He can't. This motherfucker can't get a loan from a bank just to get money to fix a boat. Are you kidding me? There are huge, extensive problems in this show. They just don't make sense. They're absolutely retarded. Where should we even start? Oh my god. Remember, we just started at the boat. But like, what's the point of that? You're telling me one of the Avengers can't get a loan? Well, you're short on money, Sam. Make a fucking podcast. You're Falcon. You're literally the Falcon, friend of Steve. You know how many interview deals you could get? Sponsorships? You're literally a military contractor and you're not making money. What the fuck? It doesn't make sense. It's retarded. You can pay for tons of things. Think of all the sponsorships you could get. Think of all the interviews you could get. On the late night interviews. You could start your own YouTube channel, Falcon. Millions of people would watch it. You're an Avenger. Absolutely retarded. Doesn't make sense. Alright. We should start. Oh my god, the Flag Smashers. Listen, if I was a terrorist group, I wanted, like, I was bent on dismantling all of humanity. If I was hellbent on eliminating all borders within the world, you know what I would call myself? Not the Flag Smashers. All right, literally the name of like a of a teenage girl, literally. Oh my god, Flag Smashers are horrible. Actually, terrorists in the show, they're seen as like sympathetic at points by Sam and Bucky because they want to dismantle borders. These people they want to dismantle borders, right? They're essentially communists. There's a lot of ham-fisted messaging in this show, by the way. Lots of racism that didn't matter before to like Sam and Bucky's characters, but now all of a sudden it does matter just because this is the direction Marvel wanted to take it. Really annoying. A lot of hand-fisting messaging. A lot of hand-fisting messaging with like migrants and open borders and closed borders. These people don't. The Flag Smashers don't understand that like borders are useful, and the show doesn't go into like great detail about that because this is after the blip, and this is the time. This is the time to like show us what the world is like after the blip. How are these countries being affected after millions of people, literally half of the planet, just come back after 5 years? What are these states like now? Because, borders, you'd think like borders and stuff, territories would be shifting after the blip, after like millions of people just disappear. The governments are like scrambling. All the like, how many top brass people are just gone now? How many new brass people had to be put in? We have to change things. We got to get food to people. We got to get resources to people. And it's all like ham-fist in the fact that, the governments are bad. Like, what were they supposed to do? Like, all of this is their fault? It's ridiculous, even. And the Flag Smashers, their goal, they don't understand how borders work. They don't understand how cultures work, right? So say like their goal, they accomplish their goal. No, how? They have operatives out of nowhere, just everywhere on the planet too, and just ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. But their goal to just eliminate all borders. They don't understand that they're literally creating anarchy. And anarchy creates a vacuum of power. So eventually, once the anarchy settles, more leaders are gonna show up and create more borders. It's literally the show doesn't understand these simple concepts, very simple concepts. And if you like people congregate together, so they're gonna have their own leaders, and they're gonna create different countries, right? It's just literally like an impossible goal. Literally impossible. Not that they could do it anyway. Because there's no way any of these people in these different states and countries, that all like technically hate each other and have like massive history with each other. Like what if like Israel and Pakistan they eliminated those borders, but those people are still there, right? They're still there. They still hate each other, and they're still gonna fight. Like you can't connect people with like thousands of different cultural differences between each other like this. America America has trouble doing it, and we're like the melting pot of the world, right? We have trouble doing it, and we're one country. Imagine doing it for the entire planet. It's fucking stupid. All right, I'm ranting on that. Let's see. Sam can't get money. Oh yeah, Carly. Carly's like the leader, and Carly and all her gang, basically, all of them, her main operatives are all super powered. It's the whole main point of like the superhero formula is still around, and they just have it. They got help from Sharon Carter because Sharon Carter's back, and now she's a power broker and she's evil since she's been like doing evil shit since being left being shit out of the government since Civil War. They just abandoned her. But now she's evil, I guess. Um, and she's just selling things to bad guys. She doesn't give a shit. I guess. All right. It's like not even. It's like brushed over. Brushed right over it. Like, just like a lot of other things. Um, Sam can't get money. Oh yeah, Sam gives up the shield after being given to him in Endgame. Horrible decision by Sam because throughout the show he wants the shield back because it was given to our new Captain America, John Walker. John Walker is a great character. I actually love John Walker. The show makes him out to be a bad guy because he can never live up to Captain America's shoes, and he doesn't deserve the shield. Sam deserved the shield, or Bucky. Really, Bucky deserves a shield more than Sam, but we're gonna give it to Sam because we need the first black Captain America. That's what we need. More ham-fisted messaging. Um, but no, John Walker is definitely the best character. Um, the way like John presents himself, he definitely has the what's it called? He has won like 3 medals of honor, and he's been a soldier for a long time. He believes in America. He believes in helping people. He kills one terrorist, and everyone just like goes ape shit on him. Oh, you killed a terrorist? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we're actually you're not allowed to be Captain America anymore. You're actually not allowed to be in the forces anymore either, just for killing a terrorist in public. It's ridiculous. Everyone's mad at him for killing a terrorist, even though the terrorist like killed his best friend Lamar. I don't like how the show portrays as being bad, and I hate those scenes too because Sam is like, "Look, what you did was wrong. Killing people, it's wrong." Even though Sam and Bucky and Steve have all killed people, you don't think they've killed people? They've been in war. They've done it. It. Oh, but John did out of anger. Fuck off. He did the right thing, killing a terrorist. That was that. And the flag smashers aren't innocent. They kill people, innocent people, and they have been. Carly is such a horrible character. Fuck. So I like John Walker. Yeah, lots of emphasis on racism. Sam refuses to hurt Carly. There's this emphasis on like Carly being super sympathetic. Um, to her cause is super sympathetic. But we can't do the way you do it, right, Carly? Because it's just too radical. But we're not gonna hurt you or anything. Oh my, it's so fucking stupid. I hate it so much. Um, that's basically the whole show. Oh wait, Zemo comes back. That's right. Bucky releases Zemo. Zemo's now a baron, and he's super rich. For no reason. This would have been like helpful to know back in Civil War when we first got introduced to him. As far as Zemo's character goes, he's a bit more chatty and comedic than he was in Civil War. I like his character a lot better back then than I do now. Civil War is one of the best Marvel movies. Really great character work. He gets captured again by the Wakandans, and he goes to the Raft prison. And his goal is basically just to kill the superhumans on the Flag Smashers because he doesn't like superhumans. Obviously, that's still his mission. He's back and he's rich. but it doesn't matter because he gets captured again at the end. Whatever. he doesn't really he doesn't really do anything. He just sort of helps Sam and Bucky, even though they shouldn't have released him in the first place. It's fucking retarded. All right. So this show is just like poorly explained at every turn concerning like the blip and like what are these countries doing? How are they like doing things for their people? How are they governing the people? All the countries around the world, they're all different. Apparently, none of them moved in any time. No territories were taken or not taken during the time of the blip. Super confusing. It had some bad fight scenes. This show's really a progenitor of like the second two fight scenes every episode, and they're all bad. They all don't make sense. I don't like them. Some of the CGI is pretty good. It's okay. Other than that, though, there are no real stakes in the show. The Flag Smashers are a fucking joke. Uh, uh, they should be eradicated. I'm glad they are. They get eradicated. Um, and that's basically fell on the winner's shoulder. You're firmly in nuclear level dog shit, guy. You have so many problems in your show in just 6 episodes. Horrible character dialogue, horrible character motivations, the changing of like Sam's character now being super into racism for no reason. The Flag Smashers, just oh my god, bad villains. All right, here we go. Here's the big boy guys. All right, Spider-Man. Listen to me. I've talked a lot of shit to this point. I've talked so much shit. I have talked so much shit. You know what? We'll talk about this last. Talk about this last. Let's get to Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor: Love and Thunder is the same as all these other shows. It's just dog shit. Replacing of Thor. Thor still doesn't know who he is. Uh, Jane Foster's back now. We get our introduction to Gore, and then it's all downhill in that movie. I made a video on Thor: Love and Thunder. I suggest you watch it. I don't like this movie. It's bad. Bad again. It has all the same problems as all these other movies. It's just like how much worse is it than the rest? I believe it's entertaining to watch, but it has like more implications of like the universe and space. And now we're getting introduced to gods. And what's their like? How do they come into play during what's their role now in the MCU? We don't really know. We don't really know. It's not explained. So you're going here. I suggest you go watch that video. Moon Knight. Ooh, Moon Knight. Moon Knight. Moon Knight's gonna be just a bit spicy. It's actually dog shit though. It's actually dog shit. But I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna be. It's gonna be spicy, all right? Because Moon Knight, it's dog shit. But it's spicy, all right? Try to explain this, because Moon Knight, it started out interesting because of our character with Oscar Isaac. And I forget his name. Actually, I reviewed all the Moon Knight too, guys. Go watch the. I didn't make a playlist for it, but you can find it on my channel. I reviewed every episode. My enthusiasm for it dropped significantly after like the second episode. Things just like started not making sense. They had the opportunity to make it good with like the characters, because you had a character with multiple different personalities, so you could do a lot with that, but they really do nothing with it. And it's not, it doesn't, and it's almost like Thor, right? We're getting introduced to now Egyptian gods, and they've been around this entire time, but we don't know what they've been doing. We don't know their exact power levels. How do they come into, like, are they affected by the TVA? Are these gods affected by the TVA? Well, we don't know. We don't know. More questions that need to be answered that just never get explained in any of these shows. That's because none of them are collaborating between each other. So none of these shows have like anything to do with Loki, and they'll never know Loki. Maybe in Phase 5, they'll try and like fix the problems here in Phase 4. But it's just a little spicy. I don't like the fight scenes and the CGI. Um, I like I like Oscar Isaac's character somewhat. I forget his name. I like at least one of them. It's nice, but as far as the show goes, it's not very good, and I'm not impressed. Um, I don't know why this is even here. This is the special. Why is this here and Guardians of the Galaxy isn't? That's strange. So the I saw this special. I didn't talk about it. Um, it's literally like Van Helsing, but with Marvel. It's not really important at all. As far as like the characters on the show, I don't know if they're actually canon. I don't know what role they have in the Marvel MCU. The show doesn't explain it, and it doesn't really need to. It's a one episode special just about like hunting monsters. And for what it was worth, it was okay. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I don't think any of those characters are going to be important at all later on down the line. So I'm just going to stick it here. There's not much to talk about this show. Uh, and then we have Miss Marvel. Here we go. We'll put up there. Miss Marvel. I also will be honest about. I did not finish Miss Marvel. Still, I did make that one video about Miss Marvel, saying that I watched like 3 or 4 episodes, and I did. And I said it was boring, which the show is. This show reminded me a lot of like a teen drama with like superheroes. Really, just well, Miss Marvel, she's a derivative of another derivative of a character. Of like, I don't know why they even introduced her because we already have Captain Marvel. So why do we need Miss Marvel? It just doesn't make sense. Why they just want another girl on the team, I guess. And they chose Miss Marvel. I know Miss Marvel has a horrible standing within the comic community. They all hate her, most of them anyway. They all despise Miss Marvel, but uh, what are we gonna do? I guess I don't know. I stopped watching it. Episode 3. I was tired of the teen drama. I do know they changed her powers. She's supposed to be like a rubber girl, like almost like Elastic Man, but worse. Or like Luffy from One Piece, but worse. Um, and they changed her powers to like have it on those bandoliers, and now she's like purple crystals, whatever those do, and they're not, teen drama. So if you won't criticize me for Miss Marvel, that's perfectly fine. I didn't finish all of it. Eventually, I will have to finish all of it. I'll do that eventually, but I'm just gonna put it in the too boring to really even talk about, honestly. I have nothing good or bad to say about it other than just I was just tired of watching it, and I wasn't impressed. Not impressed. I do know Brie Larson makes a cameo at the end, though. I spoiled myself for that. uh, I guess that's funny. You know, Captain Marvel 2 will be coming out soon. Maybe. Okay, here we go, guys. The big guy. Uh, this is, again, I've talked so much shit right now. I've talked so much shit about all these shows. They're all written horribly. None of them are interconnected at all with each other, even though they should be. Where are all these characters in there? None of these characters show up between these movies or shows, except for Wanda and then Doctor Strange. Um, and it's been such a drag. It's been such a drag, all these movies and shows. But our one shining ray of hope here, Spider Man. Like all the other Spider Man movies, it's one of the best in the MCU. It has the best written characters, it has the best written plot. Well, best written. Doctor Strange is weird here in this movie too. Like, they've just completely changed his character. They made him just like incompetent. He loses to Spider-Man in a fight, which is like, whoa, that's weird. How? How? Unbelievable. But really, it makes no sense. Other than that, though, I love this movie. Um, the connections between it starts right after his last one, like I said in the beginning of this video. uh, it's really showing us that Marvel can still write something good, but it has to be Spider-Man apparently. And there is a lot of nostalgia in this film, and I'm not particularly happy about nostalgia, but this film makes it work. Like there's a lots of good dialogue between all three Spider-Men joking around with each other, like, "Hey, we're Peter Parker. Well, I'm also Peter Parker. But wait, you guys are so cool. You've been to space. I haven't really done anything. I'm lame. Like, no, dude, you're not lame. You're amazing." There's so many nods to like their movies and everything. Oh my god, this movie was just an absolute joy to watch. I love this movie. If I could break it down in its plot, the multiverse kind of gets ruined by Peter because he needs that wish to like make people forget that he's Spider-Man, and it all goes haywire. That's where Doctor Strange's character comes in. Like, why would you do this? Help him like this. You literally break the universe in this movie. They fix it, but they still break it. Um, and then it just goes from there. We gotta find all the villains. Doc Ock shows up. Lizard shows up. All the villains from the past movies. It would have been maybe a Sinister Six movie if like maybe if the Vulture showed up, but they didn't do that. They didn't bring back Michael Keaton for that. They might be doing a different Sinister Six movie, or like for Fox apparently, like because of the cameo with Morbius. Ridiculous. But fucking stupid. But they didn't do that. As far as the plot go, Aunt May's death, huge amount of weight with these characters and the love between them. Even Zendaya, even MJ's character grew on me a little in this movie. I didn't like her in the last two. She was kind of insufferable, but in this one, she's much. I like her personality way more in this movie. Her connection with Tom Holland and everything seems real. These characters in this movie, they're friends, and the things they have to do. All these other characters talking to each other, like when the reunions between like Doc Ock and for Sam Raimi Peter, or the Lizard and Amazing Spider-Man Peter. You know, it was done right. It was done correctly. I would give this movie like an 8 out of 10 if I had to. I wish I talked about it on my channel when it came out. I don't think I even had my channel when it came out. But no, I didn't. I didn't. But I love this movie. This is the best movie in Phase 4 by far, bar none. The best movie. It's not debatable. Literally not debatable. Everything else is a fucking mess. It's a mess of messy plots and characters and horrible dialogue, ham-fisted messaging, bad CGI. Spider-Man here, it's got it. It's got good fight scenes. It's got good CGI. More importantly, it has a decent linear plot that's easy to make sense out of. It doesn't go like too deep into like some messaging, so you can understand it perfectly. I This movie, it has it all, and damn, that's all I want to say about that. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. I hope you like my list. What did you think of it? Might get some flag, dude. I don't know. I've been talking for a long time. So in totality, guys, Phase 4 has just been a huge disappointment. It's a disaster. It really is just a disaster. There's no other way around it. All of the shows and movies has been god awful. Most of it, I think, stems from the fact that free will doesn't exist anymore. Like all the actions these characters make, none of there are no stakes. There are no stakes in the MCU anymore. All these characters are gonna fight Kang? Like what? Are they gonna fight like a million Kangs? Is that how it's gonna go? Uh, what's gonna who are the big bad guys? They're we don't know. We just don't know. I'm worried about. I'm not worried about it. I'm just not excited. This phase really just killed the excitement for the Marvel, didn't it? So many movies and shows that are just not good. Man, I don't know. All right, yeah, that's my list, guys. I will end it here. I'll stop rambling. I hope you enjoy. What do you think of the MCU now? Are you excited for the future of the MCU? Because Phase 5 is coming up soon with the new Ant-Man movie. Tell me what you think. You guys have a good day, and see ya.